Hey, what's good? When this is Adnan Rady in the clutch, and I want to talk about a team that is on the rise right now, and one particular player who has stepped up in the face of adversity, who didn't let one bad event affect him and his mindset for the rest of the season. Like, he has been just becoming an effective leader and stepping up for his team. And I'm talking about the Houston Rockets and Thompson. Like, wow. I mean, in situations like this, just to give context, long story short, Thompson, just before the start of 2025, got suspended for a couple games because he got into a fight with Tyler Herro, and tempers were flaring between the Houston Rockets and the Miami Heat, and so they suspended Thompson for for basically dropping Tyler Herro, if we're gonna be straight up like with what happened. And normally in situations like this, especially with Tyler Herro talking in the media, how like he was like basically just dominating him and things like that, sometimes that does affect players. We'll give an example, like Michael Jordan, when he talked down on Muggsy Bogues because of how short he was and how he was no threat to him, basically. That affected Muggsy Bogues' mindset, for the rest of his career. Nick Anderson, I love Nick Anderson, but when he had the infamous missing 4 free throws in a row in the NBA Finals against the Houston Rockets, that basically affected his mindset for the rest of his career, and he avoided taking free throws, during the rest of his playing days. And, situations like this, anything can happen. Maybe Amen could have been someone who would have just faltered, or maybe he would have been like more hesitant. But no, he's actually been doing really well for the Houston Rockets. He has led them to becoming, as of right now, the 2nd seed in the Western Conference with a 31-14 record overall in the season. But these past 10 games, basically since the return of his suspension, he has averaged some mind-boggling stats, averaging 19.2 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, which that shocks me because like he's a forward and he's averaging like numbers as if he was a center. Like, this is impressive right here when looking at that. 4.4 assists, 2.2 steals. That just shows how great of a defender he is, matching that with 1.2 blocks. So he's an overall really good defender, which we have known since entering the draft. He and his twin brother, Asar, they're known for being great defenders. And he's actually shooting an effective 57.4% from the field. However, he's not doing that well in the three-point range, shooting 21.4% from the field these past 10 games, while having 2.3 turnovers overall since the return of suspension. And like, I just got to give a lot of credit to Thompson for just overall just his mental mindset that as soon as he came back from suspension, he's like a man on a mission, just trying to prove everybody wrong and show that, hey, I'm not going to let this affect me. I'm going to step up for my team. I messed up. I let my anger, my emotions get the best of me against Tyler Herro. All right, move on. Let's go out there. Let's dominate, and let's show them why we deserve to be talked about in the Western Conference just as much as the OKC Thunder, who are the #1 seed. We should have our name in the conversation as well, is what Thompson is basically showing through his actions, which I admire that in him a lot. And when looking at Thompson, like I mentioned earlier, he is basically a wing player that plays like a center. When I watch his film, he grabs rebounds effectively and ferociously against big men. Like, he's out there jumping really high, grabbing those rebounds really good. He's also a really great blocker. I've noticed that like he's a really good lob finisher. Like, anytime, like for example, Fred VanVleet or Dylan Brooks or Jalen Green or whoever is going to throw up a lob, Thompson is just so high flying. He can just literally finish it, boom, right there for the dunk. And like, he's so athletic. Like, he has really good bounce, around him when he's like from the baseline all the way to the rim, or just trying to get a rebound. Like, he can just out jump all these big men, like, despite the height disadvantage, and just snatch a rebound and like own it as if he's like, I'm the man. Look at me. I'm just impressed with him. And as long as he can improve on his overall shooting, I really believe he can be a top 5, player for his position as a small forward or power forward in the league, if he just improves on his shooting overall, because like, he has all the tools, he has the natural athleticism, he has the abilities and the drive and the sheer strength to be able to go up against anybody out there. He just needs to, just have a slight improvement overall, just mainly in his shooting. But if he can keep this up for the rest of the season, I don't see why he wouldn't be a perennial all-star. And looking at the Houston Rockets, they're a young team. They have a lot of good pieces around them, especially to build around the future. As I mentioned earlier, like, you got Thompson, you got Jalen Green, you got Şengün. You have so many people like who are really good. They brought in Dylan Brooks for veteran leadership. I know a lot of people like to clown him for how he was this past season in the Grizzlies and how he basically got humiliated by the Lakers. I get that, but like he's a really good defender, and he's someone that Thompson can definitely learn from and use as a mentor to be able to have this tenacity, to be able to like come up with all these smart ideas, to be able to make steals or just get in the opponent's heads. Like he can use someone like that, and it does translate very well, you know. So a lot of people can meme Dillon Brooks all they want, but he does serve an effective purpose to help out Thompson's young mindset to be able to be like, okay, I can do this. You know, I may not talk as much trash, I may not be as loud or vocal in the media as Dillon Brooks, but I can definitely take his actions on the court, translate to my game, and then be able to get in my opponent's head and then just dominate on the defensive end. So I believe it was a very smart signing by the Houston Rockets overall. They got Fred VanVleet, who's another veteran leader who has championship experience with the Toronto Raptors. He can also guide Thompson. He can be able to throw up lobs to him and also help him out. Like how do they make deep playoff runs? Because he has the experience of playing with someone like Kawhi Leonard, with someone like Kyle Lowry. He can do all these things. So I believe the Houston Rockets are in a really great position, especially with Ime Udoka as their head coach. Just talking about purely from a coaching perspective, he is really good and he can be able to accomplish a lot of good things, especially when he was with the Boston Celtics. Like, you know, like I mentioned, just purely on the court, he's a very smart head coach. He can do really great things, and like he is able to rally the troops around both when he was in the Celtics and currently with the Houston Rockets. So that's a team I would definitely watch for the rest of the season on top of the playoffs, because you never know, they might shock some people. They might have a Minnesota Timberwolves playoff like run where they could upset a potential favorite coming up in this Western Conference playoff. So let me know what you guys think, Houston Rocket fans. What do you guys think? Do you guys like Thompson's game? What do you think he needs to improve on top of his shooting? Or if you think his shooting is fine, I'd love to hear you guys out in the comment section. And while you're at it, you know, just I want to hear you guys out. Like, just what do you think the Houston Rockets are going to be come playoff time? Are they going to be a top contender? Are they going to fizzle out in the first round or second round? Just let me know. And while you're at it, please like and subscribe to the channel. I certainly love and appreciate every single last one of y'all. Thank you all so much. God bless, and talk soon.